Exactly 5 years ago, I took my first ever trip to South America, and in my last video, I showed you the most beautiful Peruvian convent that was in Arequipa. We went hiking in the Colca Canyon, and we got to try out some traditional Peruvian dancing. And today, we're going to be exploring one of the more famous places in Peru, and I'm excited to show you guys. So let's get on with the video. So normally I would change my jumper in between different videos because I normally like doing it in different days, which I am still doing on different days. Because I'm still talking about Peru, I wanted to still wear my Peruvian jumper, you know? Isn't it cute? I love it. I love it. It's my favorite. Hi, howdy, how you doing? If you guys have never been here before, welcome. We're going to be talking about Cusco, Machu Picchu, and trekking. I'm so excited. And I've loved every minute of going through my memories from this trip. So we took another night bus from the Colca Canyon, all the way to Cusco, which, as you guys probably know from my last video, and if you haven't seen that, probably should watch that first. I am not a big fan of night buses, to be honest. It was 5 years ago. I don't really remember this one, so it can't have been that bad, right? Cusco is one of the most famous, I would say, cities in the whole of Peru because from Cusco, there's so many different things you can go to. You can go see the Rainbow Mountain, you can go to Machu Picchu, you do the Inca Trail, and you do quite a few other trails from Cusco. So it's a big city for tourists, for backpackers, especially for hikers. So let's start with the advantages of the fact that there's lots of backpackers there. It does mean that the language barrier isn't so much in Cusco as it is in other places in Peru. The second reason is it means there's a lot more opportunity if you're by yourself to make friends. Unlike in many of the other Peruvian hostels in Cusco are always full because there's always backpackers. And the third reason is it means that there's a bigger nightlife there because more people want to go out and want to go dancing or get drunk or whatever. So there is more opportunity to go out there than I think anywhere else in Peru. We actually went out a few times in Cusco and it was so much fun. I definitely would recommend going for a night out there. Now, there are a few disadvantages to this as well. Firstly, it can be quite big for pickpockets. So you really have to be careful of your stuff. 2, everything is much more expensive. Well, not much more. Everything is more expensive in Cusco than it would be in other parts of the country, purely because there is a big tourist surge there. 3, it is full all the time. Like, there's always tourists around, and yes, for some people this may be an advantage, but sometimes I feel like this can be a disadvantage because you feel like the place is less authentic when there's more tourists because they're catering more to the tourists rather than just living their lives how they usually would. So, you know, but I really liked Cusco. There are a few things I really liked where we went to go visit. There's a really massive clothing and food market over there, which I actually absolutely loved. They do tell you not to eat there because it is just for locals. Honestly, all up to your own risk. The other thing is, because it's very mountainous, all the hostels have really incredible views from their windows. So unfortunately, while I was in Peru, I actually wasn't able to do the Inca Trail, even though I really, really wanted to. And the reason for this is because I think I booked it like a month before I was meant to go. And so all of the places had actually gone for the Inca Trail, which really, really sucks. But they did have other options. And one of those options was called the Lares Trek. And this is the option that I chose. And the reason I chose to do this one is because the other option was to not do a trek at all. And I just really thought that I would regret not doing a trek while I was in Peru. The second reason was because From the amount that I'd googled it, which was quite a lot, you see quite a lot of Inca ruins, and the views from the top of the hike were incredible. And the fourth reason was I really wanted to do a hike. There wasn't really a fourth reason. Also, I definitely was meant to be on 3. I ended up doing the Lares Trek. Now, bearing in mind, most of the people that were on my tour actually were doing the Inca Trail, so they left earlier in the morning than we did for our trek. G Adventures actually do it with the companies that are already running treks in that area. So me and one of the other girls who were on our tour, we got grouped in with other people that were already doing the Lares Trek. We weren't just doing the Lares Trek by ourselves, which I actually really liked. So in our group, there was 9 of us, and then we had 2 main guides. The main guide was called Edwin. He was awesome. Hi, Edwin, if you're watching this. So we had cooks that provided all of our meals, but we kept our own snacks. And the cooks would go ahead and like basically set up like the tent where we ate and stuff like that, and they would cook us like big meals. Dinner, they always cooked us like a 3-course meal. The trek is 3 days and 2 nights, and honestly, I don't know if I would have been able to do any more than that. I am so in awe of everybody that does that trail all the time, because when I did it, I was just dead. I was dead. The first day was pretty nice. It was all quite flat terrain. We walked through like villages and really cute like little streams, and you watch these llamas take your stuff, which honestly still cracks me up to this day. The walk was pretty nice. It was very chilled and honestly gave me a false sense of security, so there's that. For the other 2 days, we had to wake up at sunrise. I didn't sleep very well anyway. I was cold and overly tired. And honestly, when the sun came out, it was so bright that I would be awake. Day 2 was actually the hardest day of all 3 days. It was the day that we did our steepest incline and our steepest decline as well. It went, as we were going to the top, it started to get much colder and windy and rainy, and honestly I hated it. So the peak of the trek was about 4,800 meters above sea level. We were gaining such height so quickly. I was getting altitude sickness. It was incredible when we got to the top. Like, you can see how unhappy I am, but the last bit that took maybe of the incline that took everyone else maybe 30 minutes took me an hour, because I just my altitude sickness, my level of fitness was not there for it, to be honest. It just really wasn't. But it is incredible, and it was spectacular when I was there too. That downhill walk from the peak was literally the most joyous I've ever been. I really wasn't sure I was going to make it. So after another rough night's sleep, the last part of this hike was honestly my absolute favorite. Not just because we were finishing the hike, but actually I think it was the most beautiful. We got to see some amazing Inca ruins which were formed around the same time as Machu Picchu. Our guides were incredible. Their English was so good and they gave us so much history about the Incas. I'm honestly so glad I did it. The last thing that you guys need to know about the Lares Trek is that it actually doesn't end at Machu Picchu. It ends somewhere near it, and you go stay in a village close to Machu Picchu in a hostel for the night. And I'm actually really glad that that's what it's like, because it was so nice to be able to have a proper shower and like a proper night's sleep before going to see Machu Picchu, and just being able to really actually appreciate Machu Picchu because we weren't like so overtired. They were proper campsites, but honestly, even even when they had running water, the water was freezing cold, and at the time I actually just refused to have a shower. And I remember that first shower after that trek was the best. I washed my hair like 4 times because I felt gross. Now let's talk about one of the 7 wonders of the world, which I still to this day cannot believe I have seen in real life. That one picture spot where everyone gets their photos is not even half of Machu Picchu. There is so much more to it. So when you first get there, in the morning, we were there quite early in the morning. It is really misty, and you can barely see like 10 feet in front of you. I actually think that's quite dangerous, to be honest. One of my favorite moments of being in Machu Picchu was that moment where the fog clears and then you see Machu Picchu in full for the first time. It is breathtaking. It is something I'm not going to forget for the rest of my life, honestly. It is everything you want it to be and more. What they created and the fact that it was such a long time ago is so incredible. And there's like llamas and alpacas just roaming around there everywhere. That's like amazing. That one made me so happy that there was loads of them as well. They were just like randomly just like chilling in Machu Picchu. And that's it on Machu Picchu and the Lares Trek and Cusco. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. My next video is going to be about my homestay in Peru, so I'm really excited to tell you guys about that, and I hope you guys join me for that video. If you can't, that's cool. It's going to be on YouTube forever. If you have any questions, either leave them in the comments below or DM me on Instagram. I'm at @lovefromkesvi. Give me a follow. Come and say hi. I would love to chat to you guys. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. I'm so excited to hang out with you in the next video. Have a great day. Have a great week. Travel safe and stay happy. Love from Kesvi. Hey guys. And there's good reason for this, okay? Breathe. Let's start, shall we? Shall we start? Yes, please. Let's start. Okay. Sorry, I thought I heard someone in our house. Thought it was scary.